A fishing village? A beach destination? A hidden gem? Ericeira has made a name for itself in the surf world, but could this be the place you've been looking for to move to? Maybe this could be your relaxing piece of paradise in Portugal. With a more diverse set of expats moving here, you might find that this is the perfect balance for you. I'm Kalie.
And I'm Josh. This is Expats Everywhere and another one of our mini city guides. Let's explore Ericeira and then we'll tell you if we would live here.
Many people would describe Ericeira as a village, but its population is on the rise. Okay, it is a slow rise though. The population is still around only 13,000, but let's go ahead and call it a town. It started as a humble fishing village. Fishing is still strong in this town, but now there's more of a buzz.
If you take a look at the population distribution by age groups, you'll find that the largest category is from 25 to 64 years old. But when you walk around the town, you'll get a very lively feel. Well, at least in the summer. More on that in a minute.
Notice the sea urchin as a symbol of the town. This symbol is believed to be the reason for the name of the town. You can even see this symbol on the town's old coat of arms. You'll still see many sea urchins around today, from the rocks on the beach to your plate at a restaurant.
Nestled along the rugged Atlantic coast, this charming town is northwest from Lisbon and only about a 45-minute drive. Having a car would be ideal here. You might not need it on a day-to-day basis, but Ericeira is hilly, which might surprise you for a beach town.
Named as an official World Surfing Reserve, the town draws in surfers and nature lovers from all over Europe. This means the summers can be quite busy with beachgoers. Even though surfing is good in the winter, the town gets quite sleepy and definitely has less tourists.
Winters get cool and rainy with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. As summer approaches, the rain fades and the temperatures rise. You'll barely find any rain here in the summer, and it also doesn't normally get too hot, with summers being in the 60s and 70s. The wind any time of year can be chilly, so keep that in mind.
The port was and still is an important part of the town. It might not be as pivotal as it used to be, but daily fishing boats bring in fresh seafood, even with the danger of the strong waves.
But these strong waves draw in surfers from all over the world. The surfers don't have all the fun though, as you'll see many people paddleboarding, windsurfing, kite surfing, and enjoying other water activities. So if these outdoor sports interest you, you'll be right at home.
Maybe you don't enjoy getting out into the water for these, but you could just admire those who do from the comfort of the beach, whether you're tanning or sitting under a beach umbrella with a book.
Alright, just a heads up that at noon every day, there's a test tsunami alarm warning. If you hear this alarm at any other time of the day, it's better to get to higher ground as a tsunami has been detected.
But getting to higher ground in Ericeira isn't very hard, as you'll find it goes up high from the water. There are a lot of beautiful homes to explore as you head uphill.
So what can someone expect to pay for housing here? The municipality pushes fairly far inland, but let's focus on closer to the water. For a T1, meaning a one-bedroom apartment, expect rents anywhere from €850 to €1,000. For a T3, the range is from €1,200 to €1,500, but you can find landed homes with a pool and such for over €2,000 to €3,000.
There are a lot of renovation opportunities here if you're looking to buy and renovate. You could buy something for around €200,000 and fully renovate it. But if that's not what you're looking for, you can definitely buy something ready to move in.
Now on the lower end, you can find a T1 for $200,000, but a more realistic budget is closer to $300,000. For something bigger with more bedrooms, you're looking at $300,000 to $400,000. The prices can of course continue to rise from there depending on location, amenities, size, and sea view.
Your overall cost of living is quite affordable. You can find a menu of the day for under €10 and of course a small beer or coffee for $1 to $1.50. A 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-scale restaurant will be around €25 to €30.
Now as we pop into the grocery store, we can see that a liter of milk is around €1, a kg of apples is around $1.50, and a dozen eggs is a little over €2.
Utilities for a modest apartment will fluctuate, but plan for around $120 per month.
For those of you with kids, there aren't any international schools directly in Ericeira, but there are plenty in the Lisbon area, so you could easily live here and go to one of those schools. Again, you'll definitely want a car for that commute.
There are public and private schools available though. Obviously, public schools will be free and in Portuguese, and then private schools will vary on which school and the age of your child, but around 350 to 450 euros per month.
You have some shopping around the city center, and then of course bigger malls as you head out of town, especially when you go south. However, maybe you've heard or seen the shop Ericeira Surf and Skate. This shop started in the 90s in this town, and now it's all over Portugal.
Earlier we mentioned eating seafood here, which is obvious as a coastal town, but you might want to try the sea urchins though, because that's not as common elsewhere in Portugal.
For a typical pastry, try the ouriços, which actually translates to hedgehogs. However, ouriço do mar means sea urchin, so we see what they've done there, and it seems like a great play on words. But don't worry, the ouriços de Ericeira are yummy almond cakes.
Now, unless you're a fisherman or a surf instructor, you might find it hard to find work here. You can of course always live here and work in Lisbon, but that might be a tough commute. You could potentially find jobs in the tourism sector or service industry. Some of these might be seasonal. You'll also need a work permit.
You could easily live here on a D7 or D8 visa though. If you need assistance with those, we have a DIY course for either, or we could recommend an immigration company. Just contact us for that.
A fishing town that boasts great surf. You most likely need a car, but you're not far from Lisbon. So, would Josh and I live here?
All right, so what do you think about Ericeira and if it could be a place that you'd want to expat?
Yeah, a lot of people talk about it. I think mainly one thing is the surf. I'm not a surfer, so that doesn't necessarily appeal to me, but it is cool to see people do that. And I do like the beach, so I do like that it's a beach town. The surf thing is cool, but it seemed like a pretty young crowd. Did you notice there were like, people with their campers and like little hostels and stuff, so I think a lot of people come in for the surf and it's a young crowd.
Well, I think that there's a really interesting mix there, which we've highlighted in the video, how close to the water you have one type of scene. Let's say it's a younger person scene. It's more of the surfer scene, the beach vibe.
Yeah.
But then as you go up the hill, the very, very steep hill, you have obviously more residential living, and you have a mix of the demographic of people that are living there.
That's
right?
True. Mm-hmm.
So you have more of like real life kind of happening. I mean, life obviously happens down by the coast,
yeah.
But in terms of like living, sleeping, where you put your head,
You'd be up there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you were to just visit Ericeira and just stay by the water, then you would think, oh, it's all like this, but it's actually not. You have to get kind of deeper into it's almost like subdivisions.
Yeah,
almost.
subdivisions. Yeah, that's true. I will say this, I was very surprised at how hilly it was. That
Shocked.
surprised me. I had no idea. So those hills are no joke. You'd want a car, because even, like walking obviously is fine, but like biking,
Yeah.
woo, I wouldn't want to do that either. So if you're going to be living in those areas, and there's some beautiful homes up there, and not high rises, but like apartment buildings, I guess you could say, you'll definitely want a car. So I was surprised at how hilly it was.
No, I was surprised as well, and I also think that in a place like Ericeira, the size of it and the proximity it is to other little towns and cities like Lisbon, you would want a car.
Yeah.
I think having that freedom of not being tied to like a bus schedule would be necessary.
Yeah, I
right?
agree. Yeah,
I mean, it's not 100%
Yeah,
necessary,
you can live
but you're
without it,
locked.
but
You're
yeah.
really locked into there, I think.
Yeah, it's not necessary. But
You'll end up feeling that way unless you're just that outgoing where you're like, I'm gonna wait 30 minutes for the next bus, or or you're a diligent planner in terms of like, we need to be at the station, right? So I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that is true. Okay, so another thing too is it seems like it's really busy in the summers because it's a nice summer destination, but then it can get kind of dead and cool and cloudy in the winter. So some people like that though.
Well, I was gonna say some people that we've talked to hate that about Algarve. They live down in Algarve, and their communities down there that are also very tourism based, focused, whatever, that when it hits the winter, it becomes like a ghost town. Even there as well, you have shops and stuff that just close.
Yeah, that's right. Close for the whole winter.
So that's rough.
Yeah. I don't know if stuff necessarily closes much in Ericeira. It's just going to be like you'll see a lot of people in the summers and far less in the winters, and then it will be a little cooler and cloudier.
Well, like February is one of the best times to surf. It's just, bring your wetsuit.
Yeah.
If that's your thing.
Bring your wetsuit all year. Yeah, for Ericeira, for the Atlantic coast, the water is cold. So if you want to like get into the water, then maybe it's not for you. But if you just want to like lay on the beach and look at the water, then this could be a good option.
Yeah. I think that there is a ton of variety for such a small place, especially a place that has such a small population. I think that they have, I don't want to say taken advantage, but that's the only phrase that pops to mind, but they've taken advantage of the fact that they do get a lot of tourism, so they have a lot of visitors to the city, that they're able to offer, economically offer like a wide variety of things to do for families with young kids, for teenagers that want a little bit of, not even just teenagers, young adults that want a little bit of nightlife fun. And then you also have activities for people that are older. Nice walks on the beach, that's free. You've got
stuff.
hiking, you've got exercise equipment that is available for use. So all of that stuff is nice, especially again for a place that's such a small population.
Right, and something else I think they do well too is like there's a lot of culture there as far as the boats and the fishing.
Yeah.
So they keep with that. You still have that. You can see the boats that still go out daily and get fresh fish, which is cool. So you can have really nice seafood. So they keep the cultural aspect there as well, like some of the history too, which I like. So you have a good little mix.
Yeah. Apart from surfing, you do have beach. So if you are someone that likes to go and lay out on the beach and you want to stay away from that cold water, you can.
And it looks pretty too.
It looks really pretty, but it gets warm enough, obviously, despite the cold water. It gets warm enough to lay out on the beach, get yourself a sunburn.
Or a tan. I'm
not saying I did that.
Yeah, use sunscreen.
But you know what? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Reapply sunscreen as well. Take my words. So that stuff is all possible, and you don't have to be a beach lover though to enjoy Ericeira. Although I would say you probably should.
You want to have some, Why there?
Otherwise, there's other places in Portugal to live.
Yeah, why there if you're not going to take advantage of that beach life?
Yeah, because you're going to be paying a little bit extra, right?
For the beach.
For the beach.
Yeah.
In terms of prices are a bit higher because it's a beach town and like. The beach draws people in and people want to live near the water and that type of thing.
That's true.
So my question now, I think we've come to that time where I need to ask you, would you expat that?
I would say no, I would not. I think it's a little too small for me. I love the beach, but I don't necessarily need to surf. So I think I could find another beach area that could work for me. But I think it's a little too small. I don't necessarily love when a place gets like really busy in the summer and then dead in the winter. I like more consistency. And then also, I enjoy not having a car, not needing that. So we can use public transportation where we live. So I would say no. Would you?
I don't know why I hesitated there. The answer is no, but I guess I wanted to frame it and say this, that I find Ericeira to be really nice. I like how different it is compared to other Portuguese cities.
You can feel that.
I do like that, but I would say that it's just there's not enough going on. There's not the bigness, the kind of not grandness.
Amenities like the.
Yeah, I really like the size of Porto where we are, and while Lisbon is grand, right? It's kind of big and bustling. There's that perfect size that is Porto for me. There's a couple other cities I think as well that we've said that we would expat right here. So if you want to check out those right here, not saying we want to expat all of these, but we've created a playlist just for you to check out more cities in Portugal so that you could find the right place for you. Now let's get moving.
Bye.